A very good afternoon to all. On behalf of Velamal Institute of Technology, I would like to welcome all the participants for this AICTE sponsored STTP on Assessment in Engineering Education, a Pedagogy Approach. Introduction about our chief guest. Dr. Janardhanan Ganga Tulasi is Associate Professor of Civil and Environmental Engineering and Head of Center for International Affairs and Center for Curriculum Development, Planning and Coordination at the National Institute of Technical Teacher Training and Research, Chennai. Dr. Janardhanan has over 18 years of research, teaching, and consulting experience within the broad field of civil, environmental engineering, and engineering education. His research expertise includes technology-enabled teachers teaching learning, assessment and evaluation, development of MOOCs, accreditation, academic quality framework, and academic auditing, learning spaces, blended approach, active and experimental learning, sustainable development and education, environmental remediation, solid and hazardous waste management and landfill engineering, and life cycle assessment and sustainable construction materials. His research and training program is funded by ITEC, DST, World Bank, MHRD, PWD, and several prominent state government and industries. His research includes laboratory studies, field experiments, and computer modeling, ultimately leading to fundamental advances and practical solutions to the real world problem. Dr. Janardhanan has coordinated more than 20 international training programs and trained around 400 international delegates from 68 different countries across the globe, like Afghanistan, Algeria, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Belarus, Botswana, Burundi, Cambodia, Cuba, Colombia, Cameroon, Democracy Republic of Congo, Ethiopia, Egypt, Fiji, Ghana, Guatemala, Indonesia, Iraq, Jordan, Kenya, Kyrgyzstan, Lebanon, Malaysia, Maldives, Mauritius, Mexico, Moldova, Mongolia, Madagascar, Moscow, Myanmar, Namibia, Nepal, Nigeria, Palestine, Paraguay, New Geneva, Peru, Poland, Somalia, Sudan, South Africa, South Sudan, Sri Lanka, Suriname, Swaziland, Syria, Tanzania, Thailand, Uganda, Uzbekistan, Vietnam, Yemen, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. He is serving as a reviewer of various journals and international conferences. Dr. Janardhanan has received fellowship and awards, UNESCO invitation to the Asia Pacific Regional Seminar on MOOCs for Higher Education, Institution of Engineers India, Young Engineer Award, American Society of Civil Engineers, Illinois Session, Geotechnical Award, Swiss Federal Institute of Technology Fellowship, University of Illinois Doctor Fellowship. He is a member in American Society of Engineering Education, American Society of Civil Engineer, International Water Association, Indian Society of Technical Education, Indian Geotechnical Society, National Solid Waste Association of India, Institute of Engineers, India. His doctoral research is from University of Illinois, USA, and bachelor and master degree from College of Engineering, Guindy, Anna University, India. He extensively traveled within and abroad for technical lecturer with USA, Germany, Bulgaria, China, Hong Kong, Thailand, Malaysia. Once again, I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for a vast this thing. And I was just listing the countries because ITech we have a good this week also. Today morning I was delivering lecture for Maldives because during the pandemic also Government of India relationship to the foreign countries and development partnership agreement. This is one of the very flagship project as per the Sustainable Development Goal number 17 and goal number 4, and we are working on it. It is a good initiative of Government of India and unfortunately, or fortunately, pandemic made us to um, stop it. That is the reason. Otherwise, uh, this might have taken a different this thing. Good. Okay, let me go to the main part of the today's session. Today's session is assessment. Assessment. Wasim was mentioning three times we are given the same presentation, and we are trying to make it how best each presentation was. This thing. Okay. Let me make a point today. Uh, Assessment. What exactly you mean by assessment, especially in the case of a outcome based education? Outcome based education, we are talking in terms of assessment, and especially what do you mean by outcome based assessment? Because if you see in the outcome based assessment, the fundamental definition is learning is fixed, learning time varies. That is the fundamental definition which we have, and based on which we are working on it. So let me, before starting the this thing, let me go to the poll. I will just conduct some poll from the participants. Still, some people might join. So I am sharing the link. I am sharing the link in the chat box because I'm sharing the link in the chat box to everyone. Okay, I request the participants to click the link and participate in the poll. Okay, let me go back to the poll. Let me go back to the poll. Let me go back to the poll. Okay. So let me present it. What concerns do instructors have when they do assessment? Because when you do assessment, when you carry out assessment, as a instructors, as a teacher, as a faculty member, these are the concern I have. So I request the participants to work on it. I request the participants to answer the poll and just work on it. சொல்லுங்க சுரேஷ் சார், சொல்லுங்க சுரேஷ் சார். ஒர்க் ஃப்ரம் ஹோம் சார் இந்த வாரம் ஃபுல்லா.
internet.
ஏதோ பண்ணானே ஆனா எலெக்ஷன் இப்போ நீங்க என்ன பண்ணான்னு
Okay. I've just got the poll, but it's a little bit not disappointing. That is where the trend of online training is going on. 30 people are participating. One third has already participated in the poll. No problem. You might have find it difficult in the operational wise, and that might be the reason also. Okay, let me come to the point. Today's lecture is very clear with the subjective. I have to focus on fundamentals of assessment and evaluation. We should know the difference between what is assessment, what is evaluation. My first question to the learners, to the participants was very simple. I asked the first question was as an instructor, what is your view and opinion? Because I was asking as an instructor how you are working on it. As an instructor, what is your view? Because as an instructor, how you are going to work on it, and what you find it in the evaluation. Because my first question, what concern? Because very fantastically the people have told in the online education and in general, it is very difficult to figure out the students are learning or not, because assessment, some people have told it's time consuming. Amazing, fabulous, it's correct. Because if you observe, the main concern as instructors, what I have in the assessment is, it is hard to figure out the students are learning. Even though they might have scored good mark, but I cannot justify it whether it is because of his learning. Because assessment depends upon bluffing, guessing, and the subjective opinion of the teacher who is evaluating. Because it's also subjective opinion. As a human being, we are bound to the subjective opinion. I cannot avoid the subjective opinion. I have to go with the subjective opinion. So I cannot prevent it. So how to go about it? What concerns do instructors have? That is very important. And our students are often confused what instructors want them to do, because maybe I should have shared some questions. I have seen the open book exam in University of Illinois. Amazingly, they used to structure. And really, it defines the intent, the objective, what it is mean, intent to measure. That is also very much important. The question paper is not tough. The question paper really differentiate the good learners and the great learners. And the question paper try to differentiate between the objectives, how each objectives are measured or correlated. That is very, very important. Assessment, it is hard to figure out the students are engaged, because you should remember, the learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is a product of activity of the learners. How best we are going to engage them, how best you are going to provide the activity. If the activity is provided, if the engagement is proper, then by default, your success of assessment is going to be there. That is the main reason. The activity of the learners, it is basically due to the activity of the learners, it is going to be there. It is hard to figure out the students are learning. The students are often confused what their instructor wanted to learn. Assessment is easy for the following content. What are the content it is easy? Conceptual learning. பீரோல இருக்குப்பா. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கலர் வந்து இந்திரசேனா கமிட்டி செல்லோட்டை போட்டிருக்கோம். ஓகே, நான் 2 minutes கொடுக்குறேன். Conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge. Yes, of course, its assessment is easy to measure the concept. Procedure, fantastically you have answered. Assessment is very difficult for affective domain, because sometimes the students might pretend they are very honesty and very this thing, but affective domain varies from time to time, situation to situation. So it is really difficult. And skilled and perpetual is also difficult when you are doing the online assessment. Metacognitive, knowledge about knowledge, it is still difficult, because general order is something. Factual knowledge is very easy to assess, because if you observe, as an individual, I can easily measure the factual knowledge, facts and figures, because it only goes to the remember level. Easily I can measure, easily I can assess. But whereas if you see other items, metacognitive or affective domain, really it is difficult, and it takes time also. It takes time, and we have to think it over. It is not as easy as we visualize. Correct. Generally, when we conducted the survey, we observed factual knowledge is the easiest part when we do the survey, and metacognitive is the difficulty part to do the survey. That is the one which you have to remember. And the last question I was asking what comes to your mind when it comes to the assessment. The student capability and understanding. Yes, of course, students diversity, because diversity is a very minor issue in India, whereas student diversity becomes a major issue in the case of a developed country. For example, US, the diversity itself a big issue, because international students, when they are more, they might have learned from a different perspective, and when they come to a new environment, then assessment becomes a big problem. Ultimately, you have to see assessment, it all depends upon the scale which you use for measurement. How effectively the performance assessment as a measure of attainment in Indian engineering education system. Yes, correct. For example, during our stay in Germany, I have seen the students have been taught a difference between the different scales, difference between essay units and the English units. So when they are measuring in the feet, the same school students, they are asked to the friends to measure in a centimeter and report it, because through that they were learning between the visualization. Assessment should lead to the formative assessment, should also lead to the visualization of the content. That is very, very important. So if the scale is having error, suppose if I'm measuring the length of the table, if the scale is having error, obviously the length of the table is error. What happened? Okay. Length of the table is having error. So ultimately I have to see the assessment measurement scale is very, very important. And to measure the learning capability of the students, as I told you earlier, there are different tools and techniques are there, which we will see in the subsequent lectures. Sometimes proof of what we learned. Yes, that is that. Because proof of what we learned is basically focusing on the outcomes. Outcomes, how we are going to measure the outcomes, how we are going to continue. Because teacher and student performance monitoring system, cognitive level of questions, because it is not the question of cognitive level of question, it's a question of practical application, what we call it as content to context level of questions, because ultimately we are focusing on how the content is connected to the context. That is a very, very important aspect which has been contacted, which has been connected, and which has been connected to the main focus. So content to context, how it has been connected and how it has been provided. So let me go to the presentation. How whether we are able to score a good marks. It is mark is not the final this thing. Mark is, but you have to see whether it's a formative assessment or summative assessment or it is a diagnostic assessment. The score gives connecting the score to the good mark. It all depends upon the this thing. That is the fundamental difference between assessment and evaluation. I will cover my PPT and I will show you each one by one so that you will get in clarity. Okay. So inside about the student assessment, let's see about the student assessment, how it works and what are the ways and means which we are going to work on the student assessment. Student assessment, how it works and what are the ways and means which we are going to work on. That is also important. That is also important. So how it is going to work and how it is going to be visualized. That makes it a important aspect which we have to work on it, and which we will visualize, which we will visualize, and which we will going to work on it. So inside about the student assessment. In this lecture, the content expressed are purely my technical perspective. It does not represent the organization to which I am affiliated, because it all depends upon the this thing. We have to remember how it is going to work on it. So I will just start with the poll and we will linkage between teaching and learning. What are the characteristics, validity and reliability? And let me focus on Government of India's initiatives or rolling out of good assessment, because Government of India has launched a policy document on assessment. And let us infuse, and finally we'll have some quiz in the final end. I will try to play some quiz. In the early days, 1960s and 670s, when the students are not performing good, what happened? They have been called by the teachers and they have been shouting. And what is your views and opinion, and why are you not doing the things in a pleasant manner? So like that, the questions were there. So the question was focusing on exactly the teachers were shouting the parents or the students, they were shouting why you didn't get the good marks. But now after late 2009, what happened? If the students are not performing good, the parents are shouting at the teacher. Your duty is to teach my student. If you are not teaching properly, what the hell you are working in the institute? And moreover, most of the education institutions nowadays, they are connecting the students' performance with the teacher's increment. I have been to one of the very famous college in Bangalore. I don't want to name the college. Very, very famous college. And they were in the model institute of when NBA, that world, when they were coming for a Washington Accord signature, it has been selected as one of the very famous college for the some model institute in a Bengaluru. And they also got 6 years accreditation in Tier 1 category. But once we were doing an academic auditing, because I used to go for a lot of academic audits in terms of assessment, how the question paper type is there. We used to find the discrimination index, difficulty index. There are different methods and means are there how we have to do the academic audit. So in such situation, when they were doing the principal of the institution requested us, you identify among the participants who you have trained, are they doing performance good? Because based on that, we have to plan our increment. But that is not the way, because the student learning, it is autonomous institution. If all the students get a good mark, then what you will tell? The teacher is very lenient in providing marks. If all the students get bad mark, then the students, you will tell the teacher is not teaching properly. It is not the question of teaching. It's a question of linkage between the teaching and learning through the assessment. How we are going to orchestrate, that matters a lot. Because most of the education institution at present engineering college, but the main problem is they are linking the assessment with their annual increment. That we have to take care, and we have to work on it. And moreover, we have a fast selection. For everyone, we will give the same. And you might argue these are all different animals, sir. How you with the same animal only we are giving the assignment, assessment. Among the monkeys means among all the monkeys we are testing, but we are among all the elephants we are testing, because this photograph quite often comes to the internet. We have a fair selection, but everyone has to climb the tree, and monkey will climb, others may not be climbing. So then it is. But you have to remember this photo in different perspective. Even though we have a different same species, but the learning ability or learning capability is different, because he may not perform good in one subject, but he might perform good in other subjects. Is it because of the subject difficulty or subject? Because no one is teaching how to copy in the examination, but still the students are copying in the examination fantastically. They are coming out with a new idea. So there are certain inborn nature of the human beings exist. But over a period of system of education, it disturbs, not only disturbs, it distorts, not only distort, it damages the life of the individual. I have seen, we did a study from one of the very famous Indian Institute of Technology. We did one study. We have taken, because the students are completing IIT, JEE exams, advanced exams, the competitive exams, they are joining the IIT. We have taken one candidate who have taken more than 6 years to complete the bachelor's as our, not the species of examination, for our study. And when we interacted, that guy is very smart. and he is from a civil engineering background. I'm also revealing the background, but he is extremely good, smart, and he knows a lot of serials, good knowledge, general knowledge, GK, everything is good, and he was performing good also. But only one problem is he was in a rural village in Andhra Pradesh, and he has been transplanted or routed to a different city. When he came to a different city, the adjustment period, the breathing time we have not given. When we plant a tree to a different places, we give some breathing time, we give some nourishments, which will help the nutrient value of the plant to grow. Unfortunately, in such systems, we become mechanical. You remember that is also a problem. So we finally we made the report also. That is a different story. So it is not the question of fair selection, it is a question of different. Sometimes we give a testing in a different situation where it is not proper for testing. Because in a field, in a laboratory, we give some testing. In a hypothetical situation, when we ask why you are giving such test, in the laboratory, this is only possible. What else I can do? The people will be commenting. Yes, they cannot do anything more than that. But in that situation, they will give a condition which is not at all active, which is not at all coherence to the reality, which creates a problem, which creates an issue. We have to be very careful how we are going to replicate to the original condition. It is a driving test has been given, but the vehicle looks like a vehicle, four-wheeler, but it's a four-wheeler of a different genre. How to handle such situation? So, in the case of outcome-based education, we have to remember there is no question of are you qualified, because outcome-based education fundamental definition is the learning time varies, but learning is fixed. I have came to drive the car, my learning time varies, but ultimately I have to get the driving license. I have to drive the two-wheeler, I came for driving, because then you might question me, what is the difference between output-based education and outcome-based education? Because I was traveling to Nasik. I was traveling to Nasik from Mumbai to Nasik. So I was traveling to Mumbai to Nasik. So when I was traveling from Mumbai to Nasik, what I observed, generally Mumbai to Nasik, it takes 2.5 hours to 3 hours, because quite often I go to one of the very famous institute in Nasik for academic auditing. I'm in the board of studies member. So I was traveling with one of my colleague, with one of my friend. We both were traveling in the car from Mumbai. We have to take vehicle. It generally takes 2.5 hours. But one day it took more than 6 hours for us to reach. It is mainly because of the problem of traffic congestion. The traffic congestions are possible only when any big truck topples or any accident occurs. But sometimes we see the traffic also gets null because of improper driving of some people. So this is the difference between output-based education and outcome-based education. Previously, when the people are taking a driving license, it was output-based education, and they know to drive, and they have been given a driving license. Now, everyone knows about getting driving license, but they don't know how to drive vehicle properly. That is a problem. So the certification, it is not matching the needs of the society. Because recently I have taken a project of a lake restoration project in the last March. Around 3 lakes I have taken in Tamil Nadu, sponsored by PWD, ecological restoration of lakes. When I visited to the site, I have been accompanied by the newly recruited assistant engineer and a very experienced executive engineer. But the fundamental concepts which the executive engineer is having, it's much more stronger when compared to newly recruited AE. He is a fresh graduate, but still he lacks certain fundamentals. He doesn't know the basic definition of certain things. I was wondering, but that's a different story. The main story, what I want to tell is, at the old time, when the license was given, they are assured they will drive properly in the road. Output-based education was equivalent to outcome-based education. Now the output is there. They are certified, but they are not proper engineers. They are certified with the content degree, but they doesn't possess the competency. So there is a fundamental difference between output-based education and outcome-based education. So in the case of outcome-based education, there is no question of are you qualified. There is only one question of all are qualified. All are qualified. That is only one question. If you see the top, I have changed. There is no question of are you qualified. All are qualified. That's the only thing which you have to remember. All are qualified. All are qualified. All are qualified for degree, but not all are qualified for what? That's a different story. That's I'm not debating about it. Are you qualifying? I'm making a question mark. Now all are qualified. Still, I'm making a question mark because I don't know what to do and how to visualize the content. That becomes a problem. That becomes a problem. That becomes a problem. That becomes an issue also. That becomes a issue. That becomes an issue. So that is that. So now great teachers are made not just born. Are you ready for the journey? You have to be there. So we finished the Mentimeter phone and Mentimeter link also we finished. And now I taught Stripe how to whistle. The two friends are speaking and he's telling I taught the Stripe how to whistle. And he's telling I don't hear him whistling. Then he's telling I said I taught him. I didn't say he learned it. There is a difference between teaching and learning. Sometimes we might teach, doesn't mean that students learn the content. Learning is not directly proportional to the teaching. Teaching is also not directly proportional to the learning. Learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is the product of activity of the learners. Learning is the product of activity of the learners. How best you are going to plan the activity, it is going to change the learning taken place or not. So this is ultimately the learning depends upon the teaching and learning process. So learning is not the product of teaching. Learning is a product of activity of the learners, how you are going to engage. When you are making assessment, by default, there are some methodologies there which you have to know. Because as I told you, no one is teaching how to make copy in the exam, but still students are copying. That is by default in the written. There are certain things are there. The students are working on it. So we did this survey in one of the very famous college in Vijayawada, which is also having a NAC accreditation, NBA accreditation. We are having, but when they are having, what we observed, is what we observed is the students, we made a survey. What are the different ways to cheat the teachers in the examination? The students came up with wonderful ideas. So ultimately, it all depends upon the different ways how you can cheat or how you can manipulate the things. So you have to remember one thing. Are we doing the old thing in a new way, or is it a new thing in a new way? Are you doing the old thing in a new way? It's a new thing in a new way. So which we have to accept it. Are we doing the old thing in a new way, or is it a new thing in a new way? That is the important. And one thing, but this is the most important time to be in the education. This is the most important time to talk about education. This is the most important time where we have to take care about the education. That is very, very important. It is not only now, you have to think about what are the different ways which we have to work on it, which you have to work. That is very, very important. Most important time to be in the education, most important time to take care about the education. This is the most important time to create an impact in education, the most important time to create an impact in education. So if you see the Groundland, if you see nowadays everyone knows about Bloom's, everyone knows about Groundland way of writing the objectives, we generally speak. And Bloom's methodology we use, Bloom's taxonomy we are using, Anderson taxonomy we use. And similarly, we have to remember, students go to the college or school to learn, not to take tests. In addition, tests cannot be used to indicate the student's absolute level of learning. All tests can do and rank students in the order of achievement, and the relative ranking is influenced by guessing, bluffing, and the subjective opinion of the teacher during the scoring. And the subjective opinion of the teacher during the scoring. The teaching learning process would benefit if we did away with the test and depend on student self-evaluation. But that is very difficult because even I have did this in CEG campus or in even in IIT Madras when we did the master's thesis evaluation. When we go, we ask the students how much you expect the marks. The students are not in the position to evaluate themselves because they are not in the position to evaluate themselves. That is a problem. Because they don't know, you give the marks, you know the marks, because they have a fear factor. If they tell less mark, we will put less mark. If they tell more mark, no problem. Like that, they have it. Because this is the fundamental definition told by Gronland. The students go to school, college to learn, not to take tests. In addition, tests cannot be used to indicate the student's absolute level of learning. All these tests can be do in the rank students in the order of achievement. The relative ranking is influenced by guffing, buffing, and subject to opinion of the teacher during the scoring. Okay. And you have to remember, in the education institution, which creates the knowledge hubs, score and job is equally important. If the job is not provided, then the students will not prefer that education institution. And sometimes the score also plays an important role in getting the job in the campus. Sometimes. Even though it is not directly correlated, but it is there. Based on your score, we are not making a movie of Three Idiots or Nanban movie we are not making. That is hypothetical. Sometimes it happens, you remember. But sometimes memorization is also important. You remember sometimes the people will tell memorization is a rote learning, it is a wrong concept. Nothing like that. Memorization with knowing the meaning is important. Memorization without knowing the meaning is a rote learning. That you have to know the difference. Sometimes it will, no, they by heart, they don't know they forget afterwards. By hearting is not the right word. By hearting is correct, but by heart with the meaning. By know the meaning and by heart. Then you will cherish the by hearting. Because there are some Tirukural which you cherish and you will tell because you remembered after knowing the meaning. If you try to remember by heart the Tirukural without knowing the meaning, it is not possible. So always perform. The job is directly proportional to the mark, and the mark is scored using the formative assessment or summative assessment. In the case of outcome-based education, the formative assessment plays an important role. If the formative assessment is perfect, if the formative assessment is did correctly, by default, summative assessment will be good. If they didn't do proper formative assessment, doing a summative assessment is not going to fetch anything. That you have to remember. So it is not the question of this thing. It's a question of assessment type. Is it a formative or is it a summative? That you have to remember. That you have to take a note of it. So there are challenges are there and solutions are also there. In the case of a teaching learning process, we should remember the challenges. We should remember the solutions. So the challenges and solution are, it is not the content-based education because most of the assessment is carried out for the content. I don't want to conduct the assessment for the content. I need to conduct the assessment for the context. That is the problem which exists because if the content is properly placed to the context, the students will never forget. Unfortunately or fortunately, we are focusing more on content assessment rather than the context assessment. That is the reason students knows the content, but they don't know which context it is used, especially subject like mathematics. They know Fibonacci series, they know Fourier transform, they know Laplace transform. But where exactly it is used, they don't know. Only operational, which is you are aware is multiplication, division, subtraction, and addition. That's the only thing which everyone knows and we use at ease. That is the problem. If you are not strong in the fundamentals, you cannot come up. So that is the reason I tell you it is not the question of content delivery, it's a question of context delivery that matters a lot. So how best you are going to make the context. Let us explore the future assessment, and but students are completely blindfolded in learning. Even if you change your assessment pattern, even if you do anything, what happens? If the students are not performing, the teacher is not going to happy, because it might also give some uh, 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 what I can tell. It gives it knows value also to it. Even sometimes if you tell too much concepts to the students immediately will tell, sir, this is not come, this will not come in the examination. For past 4 years, I'm seeing the question paper. This question will not come, sir. No need to cover this part. The students are completely blindfolded in learning, because they equate the what they study to the mark, and the mark is equated to the placement. So it is directly proportional. So in such situation, we should be aware how it operates and how it works. But students are completely blindfolded in learning. And we have to remember, where is the key? Key is nothing but, where is the key? Key is nothing but our methodology. But you have to remember, it is impossible to redesign the students to fit into a system. I cannot redefine a students. I have to depend on the global this thing what we are having. We are depending on this thing. So if you want to overcome the content delivery and content to context, we have to remember it is impossible to redesign students to fit into a system, but we can redesign a system for the students. That is one which you have to remember. So how to redesign the system? For redesigning the system, there are informations are plenty. The information has to be connected to the knowledge, and if you're not connecting properly, it is going to be a complete mess. We should know how to read. Sometimes we wonder how this goat has climbed upstairs at the top of the tree. Sometimes we also wonder how the student got this much mark in my subject, because whether am I teaching so perfectly or the students become so perfect. Because that is the reason I told the groundless definition that evaluation assessment depends upon the teachers bluffing, guessing, and different biased opinion. The students are also can do. Students are also confused. So we have to remember it is not the question of connecting the content. It is the context of connecting content to the context. So we have to remember how it has climbed and how it has worked. But we have to remember ultimate usefulness of the system is not the question of this thing. It's a question of how we are connecting it. How we are connecting it. That is very very important, sir. So when you do assessment, the path might be difficult for the teacher, because when we do assessment, I cannot do the assessment as such. I have to know the characteristics of the assessment. So there are different characteristics of the validity, reliability, usability. What are the different types of validity? Content validity, concurrent validity, construct validity, and concurrent validity. Content validity, construct validity, concurrent predictive validity. Predictive validity, because sometimes you do some science and we predict the students perform very well. For example, we keep aptitude test and we select them, shortlist them for an interview. How do you know by means of aptitude test they will perform in an interview? It is like a predictive performance, because as a small kid they are joining now, because they are less than 25. So in such a situation, how best I have to work towards connecting the content to the context. Connecting the content to the context basically focus on the how best the information flow is taking place. If it is not connected properly, then it is going to be a big issue. So we have to focus. As a teacher, my responsibility is not only to provide the content knowledge, to provide the content to the context knowledge. I am not walking in a comfortable path, but however, I am making a path which is comfortable for the learners to travel, for the assessment, the students to enjoy. That is very, very important aspect. So what is the next step for you? Next step for you is think big. How to think big? You have to think with the assessment and evaluation and finance. So we have to see what is the measurement, evaluation, finance. Measurement is something like a pre-quiz. We can group this thing into different perspective also. Instead of calling like that, we can call it in a different perspective: assessment and evaluation. So think big. We have to remember assessment and evaluation. But sometimes assessment and evaluation are loosely used words, or loosely loosely exchanged words. But they are not one and the same. They are different. Assessment is different. Evaluation is different. So assessment means something. Evaluation means something. What is assessment and what is evaluation? Let us listen from this thing. If you see, assessment means comes from the Latin word accessory, to sit sideways, where there is a scope for improvement is there. It is for the students and to the students and with the students. How we are going to work on it? Because if you see the fundamental definition of assessment, the process of measuring something with the purpose of assigning a numerical value. Because someone was told in the chat also, because we are process of measuring. But when we do process of measuring something, we have to assign some numerical value to it. We have to our purpose assigning the purpose of a numerical some value to it. So the process of measuring something with the purpose of assigning a numerical value. So if you observe, evaluation is the process of determining worth of something in relation to the benchmark, because someone has told some people score, but their marks are different. You remember? So that is the fundamental difference you should remember. It is not the question of measurement. It is a question of assessment and evaluation. Both assessment and evaluation we measure. But when we measure it, how best we are going to align it? It is nothing but it is nothing but assessment and evaluation. So assessment is process of measuring something with the purpose of assigning a numerical value. The process of determining worth of something in relation to the accepted established benchmark using assessment information. So evaluation is nothing but quantitative measurement plus qualitative measurement plus value judgment. So evaluation is nothing but quantitative measurement plus qualitative measurement plus value judgment. That is the evaluation. So we can also call evaluation is nothing but assessment plus value judgment. Assessment plus value judgment. That is the evaluation. Evaluation is nothing but assessment plus value judgment. It is a combination of assessment and value judgment. That is the evaluation. Assessment plus value judgment. Assessment is nothing but quantitative measurement plus qualitative measurement. First one is nothing but a preparative assessment. It is evaluation made prior to instruction. Prior to instruction. Because we do assessment to check whether the students learned perfectly or not. I put it in a simple manner with a simple analogy. Simple analogy, let us take it. Okay, the simple analogy is, suppose if you want to make a if simple analogy, suppose if you want to make a samosa, now it is heavily raining, let us make some bhaji. Okay, we want to make a bhaji. So if you want to make a bhaji in the evening, so I need to check what I have to check in my house, in the kitchen, whether the bhaji flour is available or not. Bhaji making flour is available or not. That is gram dal or bhaji bonda mix is available. I should have onion or plantain or potato or mirchi or brinjal, something, or bread. Something I should have to make a bhaji. I need to have a batter, flour. I should also have this thing. So what you do before cooking, start preparing bhaji, you just go to your kitchen and checking all those things is there. This is known as a preparatory evaluation or diagnostic assessment. Before starting the class, what we do, why we are doing that thing? Because after starting bhaji, cutting the onion or cutting the tomato, not tomato, potato, without knowing whether the flour is there, it's a waste exercise. Now it is heavily raining also. You may not have chance to go outside because I am residing in Velachery. It is known as a Velachery. So sometimes when rain comes, it becomes flooding, becomes a big problem. The storm water drain, everything they have designed engineers, but still it is a problem. I don't know. Because the engineers are not accountable, because national education policy clearly tells if the teachers are not working properly, they are made accountable. National Education Policy 2020, the chapter 19.1, 19th chapter, I think, it clearly mentions if the teachers are not working properly, they are made accountable. Similarly, if the stormwater drain is not working properly, engineers are not working properly, we have to make accountable. That is the only thing. So any event, before starting the event, if I look into the process, how the process is going to be orchestrated, then it comes the, then it is known as a preparatory assessment or diagnostic assessment. I am diagnostic. I am going to the hospital. Before going to the doctor, doctor tells do all this testing. We call it as diagnosis. We do diagnosis to check how my vitals are functioning, how my blood pressure is there, how my BP is there. Sorry, blood pressure, BP, say sugar, creatine level, all those things. Everything, all parameters. I am measuring it. The main reason is to know whether the things are proper prior to instruction, so that your instruction is planned accordingly. Your instruction is planned accordingly. Formative is during the assessment, during the instruction. For example, the first example we told the bhaji mix. When we make bhaji bodama mix, I made the batter, I made the onion, I make one onion fry. Once I do one onion fry, I taste. Oh, yes, chili powder is good, salt is good. Then I make multiple bhajis. If I didn't do checking, if I made 50 bhajis and bondas, then finally no salt, is it good? It's all waste. The problem is the product evaluation is the final, but the process evaluation lead to the good product. If there is no process evaluation, then there will be a problem in the product evaluation. So you have to remember the product evaluation depends upon the process evaluation. If you are not perfecting or fine-tuning in the process, then there will be issue in the product, that you have to remember. So we have to plan nicely, plan perfectly, so that the formative assessment or the evaluation made during the instruction phase, during the classroom phase. In between, we ask the students, you remember, but we make some way which makes our inner soul good. How? For example, I will tell you, when you do assessment in the class, what you do, you have to tell wholeheartedly. We try to question. There are 60 students are there. What you will do, you will ask very dull students in the sense I'm telling, very weak, dull, disobedient student path. Whether you will question whether you understood the concepts. No, never, never, never. What we will do, we will ask the bright student, learned student, and some students are favorite to us. We will ask the students whether you understood the concept. Yes, sir, we understood the concept. They also will nod their head. Then your inner heart becomes happy. You remember, your inner soul becomes pleasure. We never try to ask weak students. We never try to ask dull students. We never question to the students who is problematic or questioning student. We try to avoid them. We also take the path of least resistance, because I always tell the driving a vehicle in India is a best example for fluid mechanics, because always the fluid will travel in the path of least resistance. The two wheelers also go in between zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. That is a path of least resistance. So you have to remember, formative is evaluation which is done during the process. If the process is measured properly, the product is going to be the perfect product. The summative evaluation is made after the completion of the instruction, because prior to instruction, during instruction, and on completion of instruction. If the formative assessment is perfect, then the summative assessment gives some meaning or some values. If the formative assessment is not perfect, the summative assessment is not going to give any value or any meaning perfectly. That you have to give it. So that is why we have to remember the formative assessment and summative assessment. Okay. So preparatory, formative, and summative. Okay. Overall, it is a comprehensive evaluation we call, which has all types of evaluation. Okay. So formative is evaluation to learning, and diagnostic is evaluation to learning, formative is evaluation for learning, and summative is evaluation of learning. So you have to remember, evaluation should be based on clearly stated objectives. Don't ask deviate from the objectives. Suppose if you have did sambar, you just ask the feedback about how the sambar is there. Suppose you made a bhaji, your evaluation should be on the bhaji ingredients, whether it's fried properly, whether oil is there or something. If you ask anything, how the sweet is there in the bhaji, then it is not proper, because it is not getting aligned to the objective of what you have cooked. So evaluation should be based on the clearly stated objectives. For in this objective, I need to make bhaji, a brown roasted very nice bhaji, I have to make it. That is my objective. If I ask how much sugar is there, is it tasty, is it, but I have to check whether it is sour is proper, chili powder is proper, salt is proper, oil is proper. That is only. So that is the main. It should be comprehensive. It should cover everything, because once rice, you will take it to check whether rice cooked or not. That is a comprehensive. It should be cooperative, because you should not create the stress to the students by terms of evaluation, because we did a survey, around 220 people have participated. When we observed, most of the students figured stomach pain, health pain, all pain during because evaluation, because it gives unnecessary stress to them. It should be cooperative. Let it be, whatever be the thing. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. No problem. And use judiciously so that it will not have any issue. And continuous and integral part of the teaching learning process. It is a continuous integral. Don't make it as a piecemeal concept. It should be continuous and integral part of teaching learning process. And this is the way the evaluation has to be done. The first step, define results to be measured. End of the day, you have to have, that is outcome based education. So you expect or anticipate the outcome. After the end of the use of stethoscope, the student should be in the position to know that a normal heartbeat and abnormal heartbeat. Recently, I was taking a class for Vardhaman Mahavir Medical College, Safdarjung Hospital. Around 100 doctors, we have trained them how to use technology tools for teaching. They are using Microsoft Teams. So we were teaching them how to prepare the content, how to prepare the materials, how to prepare the videos, everything through online technology and teaching them. So the results, what it is expected. Define results to be measured and identify the steps, data required to check whether the measure is. Because that is very, if I know this is thing which I want to measure, then I need to identify the data required and sources. And review the existing assessment method, because at present we are not full. We have our own assessment method. One of the big problem what we face in the current situation is, as if all our ancestors are full, only we are the clever people. That is the one issue which we are facing. But one thing we have to accept, our ancestors did what is that to their capability. My father purchased a TV and he purchased the house, which is his capability. He purchased a table. All of a sudden, I cannot tell my father is stupid. He purchased only this TV. Now this TV, Android TV. When he is there, that was the thing which he is capable of doing. When you are there, you do whatever. Don't comment on what he did is right or wrong. That is different. That is not a good approach. So we have to see the existing assessment method. They might be good also. We cannot tell all the existing methods are full. Because when we are taking a course in Pune, when we are conducting a course in Pune, one of the very famous international university, they were questioning us. Then how our previous people, no, previously output-based education was equivalent to outcome-based education. Over a period, we diluted the system. That is a problem. That is the problem. So output and outcome is not matching. So review the existing assessment method. That is important. Then finally, define additional methods and measures. So suppose if you find any flaw, any gap, Identify, then use some methods and techniques, measures, and finally implement and evaluate. That's the way the assessment steps are there. So this is the assessment steps, because they asked me to cover assessment steps and characteristics of assessment. I will tell you the characteristics of assessment, how to do the characteristics of assessment. The characteristics of assessment, the two characteristics, generally there are 6 characteristics are there. Predominantly we use 3: validity, reliability, and usability. Valid, the question paper is valid, then it is reliable. Sometimes the question paper is reliable, but it is not valid. For example, if everyone is telling a wrong answer, doesn't mean that that is a valid question paper. For example, if I question and where a dash and I comes, oval comes. If I ask them to fill in the oval, it gives the and if they fill it correctly. It is the problem with the, it is not testing the this thing, it is testing the answer, because and medicine and something you have written. And if you know, it is not the question of knowledge, it's a question of some other purpose. So sometimes it happens. So whether you have to test, whether test measures what it intend to measure, that is very, very important. So it has to measure what it is intended to measure. Suppose if you are valid, so you have to see it says I am 80 kg, and really it is asking, because you remember this kit can be 80 kg, no, it cannot be. So it has to measure what it intend to measure. That is very, very important. That is one of the first and foremost characteristics of the question paper is validity. In validity, we find 4 types of validity. One is content validity. Second is a construct validity. Third is a concurrent validity. Fourth is a predictive validity. What do you mean by predictive validity? I will tell you. Suppose if you are doing an entrance examination you are keeping it. When you keep entrance examination for engineering admission, we keep questions on maths, physics, and chemistry. Suppose we keep entrance examination for medical, we keep question paper physics, chemistry, biology, and then we predict these students who gets a score, they will be extremely good in engineering, good in medical. For example, if you go to abroad for the higher studies, they will be measuring only, they will take GRE and TOEFL. GRE measures the verbal, quantitative, and analytical skill. So it doesn't measure your engineering skill, but still they use GRE score for their admission to masters and PhD. And TOEFL is needed because of medium English. So that is the reason. How they measure it? Because they make a predictive validity. What predictive validity? If such performance are there, obviously by default they were performing in the past good manner. That is it, because over the database. So the predictive validity is, if the students perform in this test properly, they will be performing in a relatively good manner in the profession. That is predictive validity. Assessment should have a predictive validity. It should meet the objective. But if you want to meet the objective, whether it has to make a proper prediction. Because sometimes you might keep one and you might, students, the other colleague might keep one. So, but you might fail. The reason is it is not getting aligned. So predictive validity is how much. Content validity. Content validity, suppose for example, Anna University syllabus 5 unit is there. Each unit equally they will ask. You remember, equally the mark is distributed. The main reason is they don't want to have the skewed proportion. Suppose I might have not studied the 4th unit. If the question paper has a more on 4th unit, not on 1st to 2nd and 3rd and 5th. So I might be declared as a failed candidate. But I am not really failed candidate. I did study only 4th unit, but I did other 4 units perfectly. All the questions I did properly. But the question paper was completely from the 4th unit, because you told the question paper is from the syllabus. That is the problem. But that is not the right method. It is a content validity has to be there. So the content, what you want to measure, the content has to be there. And obviously it should measure appropriately. That is a content validity. Concurrent validity. When you do the concurrent validity, when you do the testing at different time, different mean, the answer should be same. It should not be if I do on Monday, I get perfect score. If I keep the test on Friday, I may not do perform well. That is should not be the case. Concurrent. Whenever you do, but whatever time you do, the result should be perfect and it should serve the purpose. It should serve the purpose. So that is a concurrent validity. Construct how you are going to construct the question paper. That is also matters a lot. So content, concurrent, construct, and predictive validity. That's the 4 validity we generally measure. So validity refers to the extent which the test serves a particular purpose. Proper sampling of questions to cover the various topics, and that is the content validity. And the construct validity, whether the score, what has been scored, it is matching with the achievement among the students. Suppose if they get a more score, but that doesn't match with the achievement, then it doesn't serve the purpose. So it should be known whether it serves the purpose or not. That is the concept validity. Now, if we ask the people to answer, all the answers are correct because all the answers the people will argue. No, here I am testing whether they know the Badmas rule. Which one comes first? Addition or subtraction, multiplication? Whether they know the operational procedure. If they perform, then those fellows only can do the correct answer. The rest of them they do. If they don't know the rule, they know addition, subtraction, multiplication. Then they do 7 minus 7, 0. 0 into 7, this thing. 0. 7 plus 1, 8. Okay, 8 some person will tell. Some person will tell. 7 plus 7, 14. 14 divided by 7, 2. 2. And then here, 7 into 7, 10 minus 7. Then they add, they argue, they do. So, operational procedures, operators, how we have to operate, there is a procedure. That is a construct validity. That is a construct validity which you should remember.
So time is meaning here.
Yuvaraj Mariappan, okay, you told 8. Okay. All the answers are correct. All the 4 are correct. Don't worry, all the 4 are correct. But if you only know the procedure of operational procedure, you know the right answer. Otherwise, everyone can give all the answers. That is not the way. That is known as a construct validity. Because it has to measure what it intend to measure. That is very, very important, sir. That is very, very important. So, to extent, the interpretation of the scores will be appropriate, meaningful. To what extent the results will be free from the errors. And the first question relates to validity. The second question relates to the reliability. Interpretation of the results will be appropriate, meaningful, and useful. If a test term score is really the students did good, they are the good batch, then it is validity. To what extent the results are free from errors? Because there is no scope of errors. That is known as a reliability. So guessing all over, for example, some questionnaire survey we give. So the first question and the 10th question will be more or less same. Same question, paraphrase. We would have done the paraphrasing differently. The main reason is to check whether the people are reading the question and answering properly. Summa random A, B, C, D tick panama, we make the reliability. Because we did one of the competitive exam recently. Government of the Tamil Nadu, they told no negative marking, sir. You should not do negative marking. You do it because we are doing that for that agency quite often. Now that agency was also very famous recently. The news also it came. So in 2012, 14, 13, 14 we did, and now after long break what happened? Once we were evaluating, we were finding one person has did A, B, C, D, B, B, C, A, B, C, D, D, C, B, A, B, C, D, D, C, B, A. It is a objective type question. 120 questions were there, and he was answering in that manner. When he was answering in that manner, what has happened? By default, randomly he did, and he got selected. He got shortlisted because he got the mean mark. Then this is first time, and what happened? That is really a fate. You remember, we had more than a good number of students. Randomly, we took the machine reading paper. We have taken randomly, and we were correcting the checking, the cross checking them. When we took, we have seen his answer paper or very artistically written. A B C D D C B A B C D D C B A. சொல்லுங்க இது கிளாஸ்ல இருக்க சொல்லுங்க இது ஆமா ஆமா இந்த வார்த்தை ரொம்ப பிஸி. ஓகே அனுபவி இதை பேசுறேன் முடிச்சுட்டு பேசுறேன் 15 மினிட்ஸ்ல முடிஞ்சிடும். Okay, sorry, extremely sorry. And what happened, if you observe, the reality is, he did the paper, we did the finished, he did, but he or she was in trouble. Then we made a coding pattern recognition. If any particular pattern, if they answered, all the numbers has to be colored separately. Because as per the government rule, we cannot give negative marking. We cannot tell that he did it wrong. Because all my answers are ABCD. I did. How can you prove he did a guesswork? It is very difficult. Then pattern recognition, which we did. Then now this time we made a very clever claim. So we made reliability. First question, 10th question, 40th question, but we want to cross check whether he is answering for the first question and the 40th question, the same answer he is giving or not. Okay, that is the way we have worked. And we had one more column of this thing where we were making not psychometry test. It's a one more testing we did. It is a confidential, and we made this thing because we have all justification we have to give because it's a competitive government exam. So that base validity and reliability to set results are free from errors. Question paper correct இருக்கு பசங்க படிச்சிருக்காங்க but guesswork கால மார்க் வரக்கூடிய possibilities இருக்க கூடாது. So they should not make out the mark by guessing. That is their reliability. So meaning of validity is inferred from the evidable evidence, different types of evidence, degree specific to a particular use. So it is unitary concepts and all those blah blah blah. I told content, criterion, construct and consequences or predictive validity. It is there. So then comes the inadequate sampling, question irrelevant to the objective, ambiguity in the question. Sometimes one of the very famous university in Tamil Nadu, technically we went for auditing, academic auditing. That there the question paper setter wants to show his knowledge of question paper setter. Or half a page question, it creates unnecessary ambiguity. Don't keep the stress to the students. Keep relaxed manner. What they are going to achieve ultimately. So relaxed manner, make the question simple, give them a simple knowledge questions, but at the same time test appropriately. Professor Limke in University of Finland, I admire him because the way in which he teaches engineering mechanics, amazing. The way in which keep the stress, amazing. Our the Tatkal booking got faster. 12 o'clock it opens, the open next semester course. Within 12:10, 12:15 full booking, 120 seats full. The people cannot, they have to wait for one more semester or one more year till he offers the course. So on the credit basis, because there are some prerequisites, the students plan accordingly. Very famous professor. So I worked with as a TA with him, volunteered as a TA with him. So this is the reason is why I'm telling is the content, because it should not give ambiguity to the students. It should be free from errors, unclear directions. Inappropriate level, improper arrangement. So this is the reliability. I have some question paper example also, but today I will wind up quickly. The test retest method, parallel split off method, consistency method, score or reliability method. These are the things which you do in auditing. So we Spearman results one the pro. After the results comes, we will take the question paper, we do all this analysis, we see difficulty index, discrimination index to check whether the question paper really tested the other knowledge or it is the something different. So that's the way we interesting reliability test and eccentric reliability test. That's all thing. Okay. Or fisherman told I am carrying a 100 kg fish, and but he caught 100 kg, but he told it's 130. Some people told, okay, it might be, yes, he might have caught 130, but it is truthfulness of it's not established. It is not valid, irreliable. The mean 130 இருக்கலாம், but it is not valid. A test can be reliable without being valid, but all the valid tests are reliable. இப்போ இந்த bullseye மாதிரி தான், எல்லாம் சென்டர்ல அடிக்கிறாங்கன்னா with the hit at the center of the bullseye, or it is valid as well as reliable. If you see all the people did right, but they are not didn't attend the bull, it is a reliable but not valid. That you have to remember. So a test may be reliable without being valid, but a valid test always has been reliable. Reliability is necessary, not a sufficient condition for this thing. Okay. Third is usability. You have to remember usability. How we focus on usability is basically on the normal distribution we do, and skewedness, we take the skewedness and we do the testing. We did some testing in Vijayawada. So how the past years, the same question paper, structured question paper, when we change, the students' evaluation changed. We did some study. Very famous college in Vijayawada, we did a question paper to the students. Same question paper, we changed it to structured. We gave it to the same student. We collected both the answer papers. We gave it to the same teacher to evaluate both the answer paper, but they don't know it's from the same students. But we proved them the evaluation changes when you make it a structured theory paper, structured long paper, not a multiple choice question, it's a long answer paper. So it all depends upon how the question paper is structured. So that is, we have to remember and negative exclude. So finally, they asked me to make a rubric also, because a rubric is also one of the part which Basin asked me to cover. I told you assessment. Assessment is nothing but measurement. Measurement is nothing but quantitative measurement, qualitative measurement. Quantitative measurement, the objective type, and idella quantitative measurement. Qualitative measurement. Qualitative measurement, it varies from people to people, person to person. I told the example of bhaji. You remember, if you take the bhaji, some people tell excellent bhaji, sir, because I made bhaji, you have to tell excellent. That is also reason. Some people tell okay bhaji, sir. Some people tell worst bhaji, sir. But same bhaji, some people told excellent, some people told good, some people told okay. How is it possible? How is it possible? Same bhaji, same bhaji na ore bhaji na or 14 ore pack of bhajis. One batch of bhajis, you remember, one batch of bhajis, because that is known as a qualitative measurement. Qualitative measurement is nothing but based on your prior experience, the things will change. Based on the prior experience, the things will change. So as I told you earlier, you have to remember the qualitative measurement depends upon the prior experience. For some students, the laboratory mark is good. Some students, laboratory mark is less. If you ask the students why you got less score, students first சொல்றது, teachers are biased. Question paper is difficult. Question paper is tough. The teacher is having a grudge on me, so he is not giving mark. All these questions, answers they will give, but only one correct answer. What is the correct answer? Students did not study the exam properly. They did not write the exam properly. They will not accept those things. They will always try to put the blame in the teacher's corner. So, but we have to accept the reality. The qualitative measurement, laboratory, project work, seminar presentation, different examiners might be there. So they might have a different valuation pattern. So when you want to scale up and bring it to the normal scale, it takes time. But if you develop a rubrics, then the difference in the evaluation could be minimized. For that purpose only, we need rubrics. That is known as a qualitative measurement. Qualitative measurement. So quantitative measurement, qualitative measurement is assessment. Evaluation is nothing but assessment plus value judgment. That is the evaluation. So rubrics, again, I have screened the video. I'm not screening. It is already, time is over. If I ask you to watch this movie and to tell the comments, some people will tell 5, some people will tell 4, some people will 3. But because you might have evaluated from a different perspective. But if I give the rubrics, in the Mari content irundal, this is excellent, creativity, visual elements. Now the evaluation, the individual difference, you have to remember the individual difference is minimized. Individual difference is minimize in the case of evaluation if you do the rubric assessment, rubric method of assessment. Qualitative assessment, if you want to do qualitative assessment, rubric plays an important role. The individual difference is minimized and the error is reduced. That you have to remember. Okay. So the rubrics as a scale, it has a contains a two part. So it is a process rubrics irukkalam, product rubric irukkalam. So in process rubrics, you remember rubric template, the scales are there and dimensions are there. These are the descriptors. So நீங்க சொல்ல நெட்ல போட்டா வந்துருமே சார். No. If you put net, it will come. But there is one site which I will tell you. It is really a best site. It is developed under National Science Foundation. Under USA, they used because when we do scales, performance, and descriptors. So you all go to the site. I'll just put it in the chat box. I will put it in the chat box. Go to the site rubystar.forteachers.org. Okay, this is a site. You just go. You will get a good rubrics. For example, I'll put it rubystar for teachers.org. Suppose if you select it will work, it will come. You can select the content, what you have to do, and it will automatically give you the rubrics, and it will automatically make you to make the content very easily and very peacefully. So that is it. Okay, this is there. You can either log in or sign up, or you can create rubric. I just want to create rubric without logging in. So you can take for writing, products, everything. You can take a rubric very easily. It comes. So if you go, it automatically comes. And it's very easy for you to do it. For example, laboratory already available. Because what is the advantage when you give the scale, automatically the descriptor comes. It will help you to change the descriptors and download the file in the form of Excel. There is some error is there in the database. We have the same complete and nothing database. We developed our own, customized it. I can show it to you. So you have to remember, I will show it to you, not a big issue. I will show it. Error occurs sometimes it happens. Okay. So that is it. Okay. If you go to rubystar.forteachers.org, it works out, and you can make the things easily. And you can make the wonders. So before winding up the session, so this is for rubrics. Rubrics is for qualitative assessment. So we make this thing. So what I will do, I will go to the quiz. Okay, assessment and evaluation or quiz 2 months before. Maybe I've just played a quiz, and with this quiz we'll stop the lecture. So classic. Okay, I request the participants to go to kagud.it and use the code. I request the participants to go to kagud.it. I will tell you how to play also. So every play pannuna, you have to go. I used to have that PowerPoint is not there in the system. Okay. So how to do it, I will tell you. So I request the participants to go to Kagud browser. You open one browser. In that browser, you type www.kagud.it. Then you Put the code. Nickname. Ipo Kannan, Farjana, CSK, Basim. Our friend Basim also joined. Okay. Only 5 people have joined. Whether others are finding difficult. Deepak, Mahil. How many people are there? 32 people are there. Okay. இது 5 பேர் வச்சு விளையாடினா ஒரு ப்ராப்ளமும் இருக்கு. ஏன்னா there is a problem, sir. There is one advertisement is that gulab jamun. I got second prize. So how many of them are running? Only 2 people are running. Like that, it should not be there because this will identify the first top 5 people. So that is also a issue. We have to just work out. Okay, many people have joined. If you observe in the question layer, so in your screen only the color are available, the options are available here. Which target area is generally used for assessed using rubric? Knowledge assess பண்ணுவோமா, performance or reasoning or disposition? Which one is assessed generally? ஏன்னா இப்ப rubrics எதை நம்ம நான் ஒரு பஜ்ஜி செய்யறத பத்தி பண்ணேன். Or which one is assessed? Which one is assessed? Performance assess பண்ணதா rubric. Okay, perfect. So who has top? CSK is top. Mangaleshwari, Farzana, Any and My. All the names are different. Okay, good. Second question. Survey and question are useful for measuring which target area? Knowledge measure பண்ணுமா, survey reasoning or performance or disposition? Survey and questioners. Okay. This position is right because performance survey and questionerல பண்ண முடியாது. உங்களோட views and opinion தான் நம்ம கேட்க முடியும். So who is the topper? Any, My and Yuva. CSK, Mangaleshwari came down. Okay, third question. I am asking to one of my colleague to review the engineering mechanics question. What type of measure was he worried about? இப்போ என்ன worried? Because என்ன validity? So whether it is a content validity, consent, stability, internal consistency. It is a content validity is the right answer. யாருமே கரெக்டா சொல்ல because I told about validity. Content, construct, concurrent. This thing. Fourth question. Which of the following statement is true about assessment? If the test is valid, it is generally reliable. If the test is reliable, it is valid. Correct. I have told valid test is reliable. Reliability does not mean validity. Or bullseye, which I have told an example. No problem. Any CSK, Farzana, My and Yuva. Fifth question. Quantify any objects, aspects or phenomena using standard and tools. It's called quantify. I told 2-3 things. Measurement, assessment, evaluation. Now, measurement, assessment, evaluation. What is the quantify? Qualitative, quantitative. அப்புறம் அதோட வேல்யூ ஜட்ஜ்மென்ட் பண்ணோம். It's a measurement. And also the measurement is quantifying any object using standard tests and tools. ஒரு ஸ்கேலை வச்சு மெஷர் பண்றோம். எரரா இருந்தா ஸ்கேலே எரர். So that is it. Okay. Any CSK, Mangaleshwari. Okay. Sixth question. A process to identify the student's learning style, learning difficulty, in order to enhance the learning is called to sit side by Latin word. நான் சொன்னேன். Assessment. Fantastic. Teaching கிடையவே கிடையாது சார். measurement, assessment, evaluation தான் கேளுங்க. 7th question. Evaluation is a summative process which is measuring students' competency. True or false? நான் சொன்ன diagnostic, formative, summative. Summative na final. ஒரு value judgment ஓட. Correct. True is the right answer. Why it is important for the teachers to understand the reliability and validity, so they can determine this thing, so they can interpret the scores. The college requires a report of all the parameters of all the assessment. எல்லாம் ஈக்குவலா பண்ணிருக்கீங்க. Reliability and validity நான் ஏற்கனவே சொன்னேன். Interpretation of the scores-காக தான் தேவை. Because then only we can help the parents to interpret the scores. That is for the validity and reliability is needed. And the third place goes to any. Second place goes to Farzana. The first place goes to CSK, Chennai Super Kings. Okay, runner up Deepak and Mangaleshwari. CSK is a Super King and Deepak and Mangaleshwar is the okay. And only 27% are correct. Difficulty, 8 question, 5 question difficulty. So no one has answered this question. Content validity. Okay, no problem, no problem. It's all part of the game. It's just for fun. I have just shared. Okay, and let me come back to the presentation. So ultimately you have to remember assessment na enna, that is very very important. Ruby Star, as I told you, and you have to remember essence of education to bring someone from inside to outside. So let out from what it is inside to outside, that is the purpose of evaluation. So that can be done through only self-discovery, as Gronland told, get rid of everything and go with the self-evaluation. That is nothing but self-discovery. That is what our Upanishad tells. And the lecture what I gave might be not well received, it might be boring, it might be rubbish, or even you might want to kill me, but I don't know. It whatever be there, but its time is up. So already I have told, because it's not the question of right or wrong, it is a question of our future. So I don't know whether I provided the information or misinformation. I cannot try once again because it's already 3:30. I don't know whether I loaded you with several steps because I tried to customize the part in different, but question papers nariya vechirkom pattern. Because I conduct 3 days workshop, 5 days workshop on evaluation where you used to show the question papers. For example, or a copper cone. Okay, if we can do it. Okay. And I don't know whether you got anything, but I'm pretty sure this lecture would have given you some spark. Measurement, assessment, evaluation, content validity, reliability, construct validity, predictive validity. That spark is enough to make the fire. We are slow in this race, but we are steady in this race. Because when compared to developed country, we are always slow, but we are steady. So if you have any questions, doubt, you can ask me. Else, thank you very much for your patientful listening. And thank you. Just I'm making a leave, and we can get connected by through my contact details. This is my contact details. You can always mail me if you have any questions or any doubt. I thank Basim and I thank Kalipan sir for providing an opportunity, because we planned to do some survey this time, but I was tightly packed with some UGC. This week was very hectically packed week. Morning Maldives course, because I was taking a course on LMS, Learning Management System module. Today I have to cover activities. 14 activities are there, but I covered only 5 activities: assignment, chat, choice, forums, and feedback. Remaining 9 activities other, which I will cover maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a NINTT UGC lecture is there, and day after tomorrow we have for Bhopal. Friday for Nitter Chennai. So sometimes somehow we are hardly packed, but it's good. We are engaged. Mind is not. So sometimes we explain the project to the students. We think we are explaining very nicely, like a Shivaji Robo, but this is what we feel. But the students might feel like better Muslim. So nothing could be done. You might get excited for the lecture, but they may not got excited. So with this, I thank everyone for this opportunity. Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.